Welcome to Fearless Heart and Mind. I am your host, Nora Oliver. I have Kim Aliprantis, who is a busy mom of two girls ages 12 and 15 and serves as dance mom agent to a competitive dancer and musical theater child. When she isn't all the things for them, Kim works as an entrepreneur in the health and wellness space since 2015. Prior to 2015, Kim was a trial attorney and prosecutor in New York, primarily handling cases of domestic violence and sexual assault. When Kim had significant gut health issues that landed her in the hospital, she made the decision to leave the law and begin her journey of healing and health and wellness. Kim believes everyone deserves to live their healthiest life in body, mind, and spirit. She is on the mission to serve as many women as possible to live out their healthiest minds, bodies, and bank accounts too. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
It's so good to have you. You have a tremendous story. I love that, you went from this amazing career, helping as many others as possible, and now to also gearing towards wellness and helping females. You're mostly into the women-based wellness. Is that correct?
Yes. So I really transitioned, I guess, back in 2015. So I was a prosecutor in New York. We relocated to Massachusetts, I guess, back in 2005, 2006 for my husband's job. I worked in law for a while, and then I really was sidelined as a result of so much stress. It was wreaking havoc on my body. I ended up in a hospital bed. I almost didn't come out. I was in there for about a week. And it was just a very slow decline in my health. I was trying to climb that corporate ladder, working 60, 70-hour weeks in civil litigation.
And it was very stressful.
It was really stressful. And one thing led to another where I ended up in health and wellness. I struggled to have my two beautiful girls. It was not easy for me to become a mother, probably because of my health issues. So when I did, I wanted to live a life where I could do all the things for my kids, but also still contribute and add value with my talents into the world. I knew I couldn't go back to the life of being a civil litigator. It would land me in a hospital, especially while taking care of two kids. And so I slowly transitioned, partnered with a nutritional company, and became an entrepreneur working my health and wellness business. And over the last few years, now that I guess I've been doing that since 2015, and my life has become crazy with my girls, I'm kind of doing a little bit of everything now. So I'm still helping women with their health and wellness, which also includes finances if they want to. And they become my partners, and I've made some of the most amazing friends as a result. But I've also started dipping my toes back into the law and working with people. Like I'm going to be starting to work on some.
But in your own terms. So
but on
it's
my
not
own
taking
terms.
over your week, your life. You're still able to do everything else that you enjoy.
Yes.
Especially when it comes to your health.
Right.
Making sure you maintain that.
Yes, that's absolutely true. I will not go back to the grind of 60, 70-hour work weeks.
It's very hard to be a mom if you have those kind of hours. I mean, you can't, it's so hard to balance it out because the kids do need a lot of your attention.
Yeah.
So yeah,
absolutely. And it's different. It's different when they're little versus when they're they're teenagers. And because I have these two kids that are so heavily into their art, it really is being a full-time mom and in a lot of ways like a manager for each of them. So it gets crazy, but I'm so blessed because I do serve on a mission. I believe that women need to find their, actually I don't want to say the word balance because I don't think you're ever going to find a balance.
I don't believe that there is such a thing as balance.
There is not.
But you can do your best to whatever balance means to you.
Right.
Trying to kind of do a little bit of everything that makes you happy.
Right, and living your best life, even in the chaos, and even in, I do believe that there are supposed to be seasons of chaos and moments of chaos, but then there's also supposed to be those moments of just relaxation and maybe not going full throttle and being okay with all
Right.
of it, kind of the mess, being okay with the mess.
Absolutely. Well, you get to design your own life,
Right.
Whether it looks like a mess or not to others, it's your life,
Right.
and you have to be happy with it. And yes, of course, we're always going to have little obstacles or big obstacles on the way, and we have to kind of figure out how to overcome them and make the best of it,
Right.
as they're really impossible to avoid.
Yep.
So when it comes to your gut, can we talk a little bit about
Sure.
what happened to you and how did you overcome it? And how did you keep the positive mindset and just say, you know what, I'm going to continue with my life. I'm going to get better. I'm going to do things differently.
Yeah. So, I mean, when I was hospitalized, I was probably at my worst health. I was on a floor of a bathroom. I was bleeding out. It was a very slow decline, but by the time I got to my rock bottom, it was horrendous. I was drinking a lot of alcohol, and that's another part of my story, is that I put down the alcohol right around the time I was hospitalized. So I have now been sober for almost 20 years.
That's amazing.
My mother
Congratulations.
passed. Thank you. My mother passed away as a result of alcoholism, which led to other things. So I knew when I was in that hospital bed, it was almost like a light came to me and said, you better, like, you have one life to live, and you better make the most of it. And so when I got out, I sought the help, and I made a decision that I was going to live my healthiest life in all
That's
aspects.
amazing. I'm so glad you did that, right? So you started
Yeah.
seeing a difference. And what did you do after that? You left the hospital and what?
So I left the hospital. I decided that I was going to put down the drink, and I started to, seek help for that. I also decided that I needed to get back to, really for me, it was running. So I was a runner growing up. When I was dealing with the stress, my father would take me running outside when I was in school. And we would run to Beethoven's symphonies, believe it or not.
Wow.
And I just found I was able
good.
to clear my head. And I would say that is probably the biggest tip that I could give, especially, I think, to everybody, but of course my specialty is in women. You have to find that thing in the morning that is going to allow you to,
Start your day.
just
Set
start
the
your
tone.
day, set the tone, cleanse your mind of all the crazy thoughts. I mean, so many people nowadays, Nora, wake up to those devices. They are now our alarm clocks.
We are glued to it.
Glued to it. And it's our alarm clock. And I am
Absolutely.
sure that, so I started to put either the do not disturb sign on, so that
Yeah.
I'm not waking up to all the notifications in the morning, all the emails, all the texts, all of it. I need to wake up on my own terms.
I love that, yeah.
And then for me, I have to get my heart pumping in the morning.
Okay.
Every day. It's
So
non-negotiable.
you go for a run every day.
No, well, now, it was running when the kids were little, and then I belonged to 2 different gyms, and then COVID happened, and then I worked out with Peloton in my basement every day for about 2 years alone. And then in September, I got back to a gym because I wanted the energy of people. But
Right, yeah.
for me, it was so, and I think for everybody, it's so important to find out what works for you, but you've got to find that morning routine that will set up your day on your own terms. I believe in gratitude lists. I believe
Absolutely.
in, when you're,
affirmations.
Yeah.
I think waking up and understanding what it is that you need to do that day
Yep.
is huge. If you're just waking up, not understanding what time do I have to get up, you don't care about being on time to work, you don't have a plan to work out, you don't have a plan what you're going to eat,
Yep.
what you ate, how you've been eating the past week, how it's affecting you, then you're not going to feel as great.
Right.
That's not taking care of your body, your mind, and you have to kind of have a good combination of, the fitness, the mindset, the nutrition piece to really see yourself thriving. So
Yes.
was it hard, I don't mean to go back a little bit,
Sure.
but was it hard for you to just quit alcohol? Because I know a lot of people have very difficulties just quitting.
Right.
They try and they get help and then they go back to it. So what made you not go back to it? I mean, it's been 20 years. I think that's amazing. So what could you say to someone that's struggling with it?
I mean, I wouldn't say that at the time I got out of the hospital that I was quitting alcohol. My desire at the time was that I didn't want to drink again for that day. It was very short term. It was just that I did not want to drink that day. I felt clear-headed. I was very lucky. I almost died in the hospital by some extreme miracle. I did not. I came out of the hospital about 20 pounds lighter because my stomach wasn't working. I was on lots and lots of medication, and as I was being weaned off of it, I started to feel the fog in my brain and the stress. I just felt good. The only way I could describe it is I felt clean, like a clean slate. And I knew I didn't want to go back to the habits that I had created, from the way I was working to the way I was taking care of my body, the way I was eating, the way I was thinking. And I knew that life was done. But I wouldn't say that I had these big, like, oh, well, I'm going to work out every day that's not what happened. At first, it was like 20 minutes 3 times a week, because and then I felt really good. And after a while, it was 4 days a week. I was eating healthy foods at first because I had no choice. My stomach could only handle certain foods while it kind of got back to being healthier. Right. But then as I got healthier, it was like, well, I like the way I feel. I don't want to go back to...
This is a better life.
Yeah. And so they were like little incremental changes. And when you make small changes over a long period of time, new habits get developed. Right. So as far as drinking and your question to me about that, it was never about like, I need to quit. And if you had asked me then, I would never, like if somebody told me like, you'll stop drinking and it'll be 20 years in the year 2023 that I would have told somebody that they are flipping crazy, that there was no way. But in the beginning, I sought help. I found people that had the same desire that I did. I got around a lot of those people. I heard the stories of how horrible their lives were. Much, much, much worse than mine. So you
surrounded yourself with positive people.
With people who had made that change and who had hit their rock bottom that was far worse than my own rock bottom, and knowing that if I made a decision to go back that way, my life could very easily go back that way. Right. And so then, you're surrounding yourselves with those people. It's making you stronger. You're making small changes, and then another day goes by, and then another day goes by. And I suppose that's kind of how it works. But I know plenty of people, and I do want to say this, there are plenty of people that do relapse. And it's not the end of the world, as long as you relapse and understand that it was a relapse and it doesn't have to be the rest of their life.
Exactly. You can keep trying.
They can keep trying. They can make the decision. You get another day. Right. You get another day to start again.
Tomorrow's another chance.
Absolutely. So like to anybody out there that struggles and has maybe made the decision but then has backtracked, that doesn't mean that they've failed. In fact, give me the person who's going to fail 50,000 times and brush themselves off and stand up on their own 2 feet and say, I'm going to try again. Give me that person over the perfect person any day of the week.
Absolutely. So. See, we can, and we have the ability to do just about anything that we put our minds to.
Right. Absolutely.
And we just have to stop holding ourselves back. So let's talk a little bit about nutrition, because you're all about eating healthy and working out, and you look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you. I just turned 50 too.
Wow. All right, don't look at my wrinkles.
Oh, stop. No, you look amazing too.
You look really good. Oh, wow. I'm a little bit jealous, if I may say that.
No, please.
So tell me, do you have some sort of routine when it comes to eating healthy and meal prepping? I mean, what is it that you do that makes it easier for you?
I mean, so I'm partnered with a nutritional company that's been in my life since 2015, and it's changed my life. It's changed my husband's life in ways that we couldn't even imagine. It's incorporated with my kids' nutrition, especially with an athletic dancer. But I'm a firm believer in protein, especially the older that we get. So I do some form of working out every single day. It's rare for me to take a day off because of the benefits for my head. there are days where I'm doing lighter workouts, but right after a workout, my goal is for protein. For me, it's a phenomenal protein shake that I can't live without. Okay. But it could be protein. I mean, it should be protein.
You have it after every workout?
Every workout. It's like since 2015, it's my husband's life, my kids too.
Your kids have it as well? It's okay
yeah.
for kids.
Yeah,
That's
mostly
awesome.
it's a snack from especially my daughter who dances 25 hours a week.
Oh, wow.
She'll come home from school and make one. Yeah. But I'm a firm believer of getting that protein in. The older we get, the more our protein and our muscle breaks down. We need more of it.
Yes.
So any way we can get that protein in, and I find that when you're eating the protein, good sources of protein, you feel more energized, you want to be more active. It's a cycle.
It makes a huge difference.
Yes.
I see it on my daughter. I mean, she's only 5 now, but I do put it in her. So I'll make a smoothie in a blender.
Yeah.
Put all kinds of fruit.
Yeah.
I'll put some, I add super greens to it as well.
Yeah.
And a bit of protein, and then I'll freeze them into a little molding, different shapes, and then she'll eat it like a popsicle.
Like a popsicle. There's so many different ways.
She loves it.
Yeah.
But it's convenient to take it on the go, in the car, because she's licking it, and it's awesome. It's not a bag of chips.
No.
It's not crappy food that they want to eat all the time.
That's right.
Because all their friends want it. But yes, so I think that's amazing. So you do that once a day, or?
I do it once a day unless I'm really trying to rein it in for some particular occasion or something, then I might do 2 of them a day. But I then have whole food snacks in between, and honestly for dinner, it's whatever we eat as a family. We do tend to eat healthy, so I'm a firm believer on when you go grocery shopping to buy the vegetables that you like, because the easiest trick in the world that I don't know why, but whenever I say this, people don't understand. But every night I take a cookie sheet.
Okay.
I spread the vegetable of the night on. So for us, we love asparagus.
I love
we
asparagus.
like string beans.
Yep.
We like cauliflower and broccoli.
Oh, making me hungry.
So whatever it is for the day, it goes on a cookie sheet. And the easiest thing in the world, drizzle, and I mean a drizzle of olive oil and sea salt, and you stick it in the oven on roast for about 20-25 minutes. And for me, whatever we're making, whether it's grilled chicken tacos or we're making pasta with, I'll always home make my turkey meatballs and we freeze them down. But whatever we're making, homemade pizza one night. I mean, I'm not one of these people that does all this meal prep. We eat whatever the kids, we're on the go now. But I'm the firm believer in the roasted vegetables every night. Because if you could get those vegetables in at night, it doesn't matter what else you're eating alongside it. Get the in. I mean,
no, I love that. What I do with my kids, my 3 kids, I go grocery shopping twice a week. My kids now eat so much. I feel like I have no groceries every other day. So I always ask them, text me. I'm going to the grocery store. Text me 2 fruits and 2 vegetables you want to eat these next 3 days. And they get to pick. I'm not making them.
Right.
And I tell them it needs to be different than what it was 2 days ago.
Right.
So now you're getting a mix of vegetables in there and the fruit. Fruits are a little bit easier, and vegetables, it's always a little bit harder. So I try and tell them at least, you know what, if you just have 5 bites, that's good enough for me. It's better than nothing. But then what I've noticed is their taste buds change. So the more 5 bites of the same food they have, the more they start to like it and they want it, and it becomes more natural. But like you said earlier, you have to try what works best for you, whether it's exercise, whether it's quitting alcohol, whether it's quitting drugs, whatever it is that you're trying and you want to change, you have to find out what works best for you, because we all have our own differences and different wants and different lifestyles that we want to enjoy and live. So I think it's important to kind of figure that out. And same thing with, some people don't want meal planning.
Right.
For me, it helps.
Yep.
I'm a single mom. I don't like to, it's 5 o'clock, I have to figure out what I'm gonna make for dinner.
Right.
And if I know exactly, I actually have a weekly plan, what we're gonna have for breakfast, what I'm gonna have for lunch and dinner, and we can have whatever we want in between as far as snacks go. It
Yes.
helps me know what I need to buy, what the kids ate the week before, so I'll do for the whole month. And it kind of helps me balance out the nutrients we need and stay healthy.
Absolutely. I mean, I guess what I meant by meal planning is I'm not one of those people that will sit there, for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and on Sunday I'm all of it for the week. But I do plan our dinners. With the crazy schedules that we have, it's so important, I think, on the weekend when you're shopping to figure out what you're going to make for dinner. Otherwise, what ends up happening, you're last minute stopping for probably not so great choices because you didn't pre-plan. The one day a week that we will get something from the outside, and my daughter lives for it, and you probably love it too, sweet green salads.
Okay.
They are
good.
amazing. So, there's an app on the phone, and we all get our own type of salad, and the dressing's on the side, and it's wonderful. And then, you could get your protein on it. But other than that, I agree with you 1,000% that you need to, on a weekend, figure out how you are feeding yourself, how you're feeding those kids, especially for the dinner time meal. Otherwise, the not so great choices out there, and a lot of money.
It's easy to get
too.
tricked into not eating healthy.
Right.
You go out to eat every day, and then you just kind of forget what you're having and how healthy, how processed the foods are out there. And you get lost in it, and it's so hard to get back into eating healthy. And then you start feeling it physically, and then you stop working out. And it really starts to take effect in your life.
Absolutely.
So it's important to figure out, whether you want to do your shopping list on the weekend, go shopping during the week, or meal planning, or even if you're ordering out, you kind of have to have an idea.
Right.
And that kind of helps with the stress as well, not having to come up last minute what you're going to feed the kids or yourself. At least it helps for me, but I think do your homework and figure that out for yourself.
For sure.
Yes, absolutely.
For
So let's talk about a little bit about fitness, if you don't mind.
Sure.
I know you're very big into fitness.
Yes.
So what would you recommend one do to start with?
Yeah, so if somebody's just looking to get into that habit, the way I've always coached women, and mostly women, is start off with attainable goals. So I love to tell people pick 3 days during the week. That's it. Pick either one day during the week and 2 days on the weekends.
Good.
Or 2 days during the week and 1 day on the weekend, because I always hear how busy everybody is. They're getting up at an early hour, and I always say you can make the time, even 20 minutes to a half an hour. So if you can dedicate that 1 or 2 days a week during the week, let's say it's a Monday and a Thursday, you set your alarm earlier. You get out there and you go jogging for 25 minutes. You put music on that you love if you don't want to go to a gym, which I totally understand. Some people have equipment at home. That's it. And then the other days, you schedule it the way you would schedule any appointment. And then you give yourself permission the other days during the week that you don't have to get up early. You've gotten it checked done. And then the one day on the weekend, where weekends maybe you could sleep late or whatever works for you. And do that consistently for 3 to 4 weeks. And then reassess. Do you want to go to a 4th day?
Do you want to do more, or do you need to go back a little bit less? But it also, exercising, whether it's just walking, it helps also with your digestive system. It really helps your body digest all this food that you're putting it in a lot better. Right. And it absorbs the food a lot better as well as you're exercising. It makes sense when you're thinking about it. It helps you feel better, right? When you walk, you feel better emotionally as well. And when you're eating healthy, you start to see how well you feel. But now when you combined the exercise and the healthy eating, then you see a lot bigger change in you. Right. And of course, we add the third, the positive mindset. So if you have the positive mindset and you've got the healthy eating and of course the exercise, you've got all three combined, and you're doing that on a regular basis or on every other day, you really see yourself thriving.
Right.
And of course, you said that yourself. You started doing that a lot more. You started running. You started saying no more alcohol. You started eating healthier. And look at you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I also think it's super important to know that they all work together. So I've heard constantly people say, oh my God, this all sounds so overwhelming. And I understand that. If you're at home, you're not eating well, you're not exercising, you don't know even what mindset work is, so you feel helpless. It sounds really, really overwhelming. So tackle one thing first. Whatever you feel is conquerable. So for some people, it's the eating piece. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to go out and get all the vegetables. Start with that. Because I guarantee you, if you start there, you're going to start to feel better.
And don't go to extreme
right.
where you're changing your entire diet in one day. You know, maybe add 1 or 2 vegetables.
Well, that's the thing.
For a week, and then maybe after that you add some more, and so on. But some people tend to go extreme. Oh, I'm going to work out every single day for 2 hours.
Right.
And then
they're prepping all the meals. So I find, again, if there's one message that I can kind of convey, it's that you have to pick one thing. Start with one thing that you feel is achievable, that's measurable, and do that. And absolutely. I guarantee that when you've created that habit, it will naturally lead into the other stuff. I mean, for me, it was fitness that led to the eating, you know, it led to the mindset, but it could work any way you want. Maybe it's, let me start with the eating first, then I feel better. Now I want to kind of move my body because I feel better, because I've been eating better. And then because of that, my head is feeling clearer. I can see, you know, I'm taking those walks, I'm noticing the birds, I'm noticing the greenery. I'm grateful. I now need to
appreciate your life even more.
There's gratitude there, there's appreciation, and now your mind is working better.
But others see it as well. You know, they respond to you a little bit differently, and they look up to you. Hey, Kim, wow, you look amazing. You sound amazing. How are you doing all of this, right? Like you said, you turned 50 and you don't look it at all.
Well, thank you.
And you don't sound like 50, which I don't know what a 50-year-old would sound like, but you look...
Me neither.
That existed.
Yeah.
But I love what you've done. I am very impressed, and I hope that a lot of people take your word for it, that, you know, you have to try. You don't just give up on your life. You have to try and make a change and see how it works. And if that doesn't work, then you know what? There's another day tomorrow. Try something different tomorrow until you get it right.
Right. That's absolutely it. You can, every day is a new day to go out there and achieve whatever it is that you want. There is no such thing as failing. It's just quitting. Don't quit, and you can't fail.
Absolutely. Anything else you'd want our viewers to know?
No, I mean, if anybody ever wants to reach out, you can find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have a website. I'm happy to network and really explore with people how they can live their best life anyway. That's something that I, again, feel very passionate about. What are you doing now?
So they reach out to you. Do you have like group classes or one-on-ones? What do you?
I'll always do a one-on-one, and depending on, I'll obviously share what it is I'm so passionate about and what I do. But I now have a vast network. I lead a bunch of networking business groups with a lot of professionals in different areas. We have a virtual one that meets on Fridays with lots of Massachusetts women in business. Yep. I have an in-person one that we meet with once a month. So again, if I'm not the right person, I would like to think that since in the last 7 or 8 years, I've built up enough of a network that I could probably guide them to the right person. Because again, my mission is to show women how to live their best life in health, in wellness, in finances. Just that is my goal. Everybody deserves to live their best life.
I 100% agree with you. I, again, love what you've done with your life.
Thank you.
I love what you've accomplished, how far you've come as a person, and
thank you.
Thank you for having me. That. I really do appreciate having you here. And
thank you.
As for all of you, I hope you get to listen to Kim's story and start changing your life for the better. So thank you for watching Fearless Heart and Mind. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.